I have massive sympathy for our brave counter-terror firearms officers who have handed their weapons in after a colleague was charged with murder. It is an incredibly strong statement, but given that it's an active case, that is about the only statement that can be made on the specific circumstances that led up to that murder charge. What I can say, though, is that I think this will have devastating consequences for our society and our safety. One armed policing source told GB News, quote, "Virtually everyone on armed response vehicles has asked for a period of reflection. There were 2 cars out last night instead of 15. It'll be the same tonight, maybe." Armed officers from other forces have reportedly refused to cover, even those we understand from the City of London Police, as well as firearms instructors. And in fact, firearms instructors have handed their badges in as well. So training for new firearms officers may stop from next week. Under the law, armed police officers have the right to discharge a firearm to make a lawful arrest, defend themselves from unlawful violence, and to protect others from harm, if they have reasonable grounds for believing there is an imminent danger to life. But the European Convention of Human Rights only allows the use of force which is no more than absolutely necessary. And that is the grey area that our incredibly brave firearms officers have to operate in. Was that split-second decision you made under the most intense scenario imaginable, quote, absolutely necessary? And all of this, of course, is then analysed later on in the cold light of day, slowed down, a bit like VAR in football. If I was a firearms officer now and a colleague had been charged with murder, I would hand my weapon in. But I'm going to ask something of them, and I really do hope that this is taken in the right way. Please, please, please get back to work. Please go back in, now you've made your point, and pick your guns up and carry on protecting the public. Because the overwhelming majority of us are incredibly grateful for what you do. We cherish the role that you play in keeping us safe and protected, and we do support you. I understand that enough of you have already returned to work so that we don't need to draft in the army. That's the latest, apparently. But clearly, a lot of you have still downed weapons. The public are not to blame for criminal charges being brought against one of your colleagues, or for the way that your management may or may not treat you. We just want to be kept safe. And I can't sit here and dish it out to junior doctors and consultants who strike and then people die in hospitals and not say that whilst I have every sympathy for firearms officers, absolutely, I do think it's wrong that people may now die because there are almost none of you out there. Is this not a green light for terrorists? I'll just say it one more time to those heroes. I completely understand what you're saying. I completely get the point that you're making, and most people will probably agree with it. But please, 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 pick your guns back up and take care of some bad guys for us.